show you what I'm doing in Photoshop to get the right size so that I actually end up with bleed on either side of my image. So I'm using the crop tool, and the original size in InDesign is 252.50, but that doesn't include the bleed. So if I bring it into InDesign and stretch it up, I'm not going to have the right amount of pixels, which is 250. So I've got to actually add in the bleed amount, which is 10 either side. So that's adding 20 on, which would make that 272.50. And then back in InDesign, the height of the final one is 380. So if I'm going to add 20 onto that, that's actually going to be 400 for the length. And it'll hang over 10 on each side. Hope that makes sense. Do check that it's pixels per inch, it could be set on pixels per centimetre, in which case you'll get into quite a mess because that's a video format. So pixels per inch. And the resolution is this one, and they've said they want 250. So once you have those measurements in, remember it's the document size that we set up for in InDesign that we're using in here. But if we want, and it's only if we want the image to hang over the edge into the bleed, then that's when we've got to add the extra 20, so 10 on either side, and top and bottom, and pixels per inch. So when you hit done, and also just make sure that we could change this later, but see how it's RGB? Mostly when you download images from Unsplash, they're going to be RGB. So it is your job to convert them to CMYK, or convert a copy is a better plan, because we know we do want to use these in social media. So you could save the original downloaded somewhere, keep that in RGB, and then the one that you're going to put in the print file, convert to CMYK. So that's under the image menu mode, CMYK. And if you want to have just a little look at the size, you just go to image menu, image size, and you can always check what size you've got. Now I left that on resample, which is automatically ticked, because I did want to reduce the size of it. So that should have done the trick now, and it should match up with our, now we've saved it, with our InDesign document that we made before. So now I'm going to place that file into the InDesign document, and it should just sit there. Sorry, plonk it in, and it should sit there and be the correct size. Oh, did I not save that? Let's just go back. Yep, I've got to resave that file. Save as. Keep it the same name. Make sure it's Photoshop, not a JPEG. And save. I'm just going to replace the one that I had, which was the wrong size. Now when I go to InDesign and go File, Place. Now when I place it, that one should pop in, yes, and be the right size. Well, pretty close to it. So it's just taking over a little bit, just a tad there. Now, how to check if your image is the right size in terms of pixels. And now you can see that the actual PPI and the effective PPI, when I brought it into InDesign, I haven't changed the effective PPI. So I know that it is actually 250 at the correct size. However, if I was to drag that image up and start enlarging it for whatever reason, you will see that that effective PPI there is dropping, and that's not good. Okay, so whatever you're told is the output. I mean, with a lot of magazine print, it's going to stay at the typical 300. But for the poster, they've said 250, but at the correct size. Okay, so just see how you go with that. If you have any questions, you can ask me. But we do need to make sure our Photoshop file, especially if you want it to go over the edges like that, they've asked to have bleed, 10 all round, which means you've got to add 20 back in your 20 all round back in your Photoshop file. And you need, if it's a very large image with a lot of pixels, you need to crop it using the crop tool and make sure that the pixels per inch is what they've asked for at 250. Okay, just stop there.